Testing the light, making sure we look good, making sure we look glowy. Take another bite of my snack. Let's go. My name's Caitlin. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm doing a Q&A talking about my birth story, talking about life as a mom, how it's been. I am 10 days postpartum and I feel like I'm living in a dream. It's so crazy, like through the good and the bad, everything has just been like, I feel like I'm living in the clouds. So this is great. I took you guys on the end of my pregnancy journey and now I'm going to be taking you into motherhood with me. So I did a poll on my Instagram and I had you guys ask me some questions, things that you were curious about, just about my new life as a mom. So we're going to get into those questions and I'm going to tell you all about my birth story because it was a lot and the past 10 days has been a lot just with recovery and everything. So let's go. Y'all asked some really good questions, so I'm definitely excited to answer all of these. Question number 1, how was labor and delivery for you? Do you think working out made it easier? That was a highly asked question, is how did working out help me with my labor and delivery? So let's start with the birth story, and then I will get into how exercise helped me. So it was Thursday night around 10 o'clock. I started getting contractions. I thought I was getting contractions before, but these were like extremely different. Like I definitely had to sit down and really focus on my breathing. So I sat on my yoga ball. I started timing. I still have the log of the times. Hold on, let me pull it up. I literally was logging the times that I was getting contractions. And so yeah, once they were like every 3 minutes, like I was contracting like nonstop. It was crazy because they say that it's like they'll usually be like 10 minutes apart, 5 minutes apart, and then they just get close. No, mine were like 2 to 3 minutes apart, and it was painful, but it wasn't like unbearable. So I was sitting there, I was like, but then as my time log kept going and going, I was like, okay, we probably need to go. So I called for my mom. I was like, Mom, I think we gotta go. And she was like, what? Like we had both had the longest day ever. My mom worked all day. I didn't sleep the night before. I had to work. Like it was just, we both had crazy busy days. And then here we are like 10 something at night going to the hospital. So honestly, it's so weird even thinking and talking about this back now because I really have to think. Like it was all just like so fast and so crazy. Yeah, wow. But whew. We got to the hospital, they hooked me up, they were like, yes, you're having contractions. They checked me, I was 3 centimeters dilated, which was crazy because I literally was supposed to be induced that Monday. I was supposed to be induced that Monday the 20th, but ended up going in on the 16th. We got to the hospital at like 11, and then, yep, they checked me. I was 3 centimeters dilated. My contractions were so close. They were like, we're admitting you. And I was like, bet. So we set up camp, got all of our stuff into the room. My contractions were pretty rough. They offered me a yoga ball. So I was sitting on the yoga ball for a little bit. At this point, I was kind of like leaking and everything was just uncomfortable only when the contractions were happening. So I think just getting through those contractions, but knowing they only last for like 30 to 60 seconds, it's like, okay, I can deal with this for like 30 to 60 seconds. But then they started getting really bad and they were happening so often. So I asked them for laughing gas. My hospital did offer laughing gas. Tried it. It's not like the grade laughing gas that they give you at the dentist. So it didn't really do anything. Honestly though, like having the mask like over my face and having to hold it to my face, helped me focus a little bit more on my breathing. So I guess it was a little helpful in that sense. But yeah, other than that, laughing gas didn't really do anything. At least whatever percentage of nitrous they actually gave me or that they were allowed to give at the hospital. Anyways, so then I was like, I was ready to get that epidural. Props to anybody who doesn't get it because that epidural was life-changing. I didn't really know what to expect. Like I thought that I literally wasn't going to be able to move my legs, but I could still move around. I could still do, but let me tell y'all about that dang epidural because they had somebody come in. She had to stick me 4 times. 4. And that pain is a no. I literally was screaming, like screaming because, so they were doing it on my right side, and you get like a zing down your leg. So that happened to me 4 times. I didn't just get the one and done. Nope. 4 times she was trying to get it. She kept hitting bone. She was like, oh, there's just not much space, blah, blah, blah. So then they had like the actual doctor come in. I guess she was like a certified, I don't know the actual like term for it. She's certified to do it, but she wasn't the actual anesthesiologist. So then they had the anesthesiologist come in. I think he was in a surgery when I was requesting the epidural. So that's why they sent her to do it, but she could not get it. He came in, got it on the first, and then I was like, oh, in heaven, like complete heaven after that. They had me laying on the peanut ball. I was like, oh yeah, we'll turn this way. We'll turn this way. I took a nap. I was chilling. Did not eat in my labor process. Thank goodness, because that's important for later on. But yeah, after I got the epidural, I was chilling. I was good. And they have like a button on the side that like if you do start to feel anything, you can like press it and it'll administer a little bit more. So yeah, didn't feel the catheter, didn't feel anything after I got that until it was getting time. So they were checking me every so often to see how dilated I was. So I climbed to 5. And then the next time they checked me, I was like 6.5, stretching to 7. And then things went downhill. So at this point, they're monitoring baby's heart rate, and whatever position he was in was not favorable for his breathing and for his heart rate, so his heart rate kept dropping. So they had to go in and put like a monitor on his head to get a more accurate reading, and they had me in all different types of positions. They had me over on my hands and knees in the bed, and just trying to keep him in a position that his heart rate would stay good, and keep him breathing well. And so the doctor comes in, and it wasn't my doctor that I was seeing this whole time, because I ended up at a different hospital just because it was like a middle of the night type of thing. So the doctor comes in, and she told me that they might have to do a C-section just because of where the baby was positioned. I got really emotional during this because I didn't have a birth plan. Like, I just wanted to do whatever was going to be safe. But just hearing that, I was scared. So like, I started crying and I was really upset, but then I just had to pray. I prayed. My mom prayed over me. Like, everybody was praying over me and just saying it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. And then I'm literally laying there. So they had me on the peanut ball. I'm laying on the side. Baby was in good position when I was laying on my right side with the peanut ball. And then all of a sudden his heart rate just like completely bottomed. So I could feel the panic, like with all the nurses and everything. I was 9 centimeters dilated at this point. The doctor comes rushing in. There was like people rushing in. Somebody threw my mom a gown and was like, put this on. We're going to the OR. They're on the phone with people telling them we're coming and doing all this. They're trying to get me ready, about to take me to the OR to do a C-section. And the doctor's like, no, we're going to stay. We're going to push. Cause I was in tears. Like, it was so scary because I'm literally laying there. Like, she came in and told me we might have to do a C-section. And then literally it felt like 2 seconds went by, and then everybody's just like rushing and doing and trying to keep the baby's heart rate up and keeping me, and I'm just like, I'm laying there and just, they're just all like around me doing all this. My mom's in a gown now getting ready to go to the OR. And so, yeah, it was not good. So I'm 9 centimeters. I did not even make it to 10, but baby's heart rate went back up, and the doctor was like, no, we're going to push. Very graphic details coming up next. If you don't want to hear it, skip this part. But doctor literally she was like, you need to push like hell. And I was like, but I was ready. I was ready to go. Y'all seen that TikTok trend where it's like the little like anime character? He's like, ah! That was me. That was literally me. So yeah, she literally had her hands up in my cervix, stretching me to 10 centimeters every time I pushed. So I would have to push for 10 breaths and then relax, push. Head kept coming. The umbilical cord was wrapped around his arm and they could see it, and they could see his head. So yeah, literally, like, I cannot make this up. The pressure was awful, like awful. I don't know if it would have been any better if I like naturally stretched to 10 centimeters dilated. I was barely at 9 centimeters. So she was stretching me on top of me pushing a baby out. It was extremely chaotic, extremely traumatizing. But we did it. Somebody did ask me too, how long I was in labor and how long I pushed. I was in labor for a total of 11 hours and I pushed for 14 minutes. Somebody also did ask me, did I tear from giving birth? And yes, I did. But I do feel like I only tore because I wasn't 10 centimeters dilated and because she literally had her arms and her hands up in there stretching my cervix. That, like, I keep doing this because I just cannot believe that that is what was going on. Like, and I literally was just pushing like my life depended on it. And it was very crazy and very scary. And it all happened so quickly. Like, so 14 minutes is all from when they were about to take me to the OR to me pushing and then I have a baby. Like 14 minutes, that's it. So yeah, it was very wild, but then he ended up being totally fine. He came out, they laid him on me, and then I was just like, I was in such a dream. I was crying the happiest tears. Like, I could not eat. Like, after that, it was all worth it. Like, all 1000% worth it. The second that they laid him on me, I was like, yes, this is exactly what I needed. And God saw me through, God saw us through and kept me safe, kept baby safe. But yeah, baby was just in a weird position. He was not trying to cooperate, which he didn't do my whole pregnancy, so I didn't know what I was expecting. I don't know why I was expecting him to cooperate. So yeah, it was wild. But we made it, and so yeah, that's like the gist of the birth story. They did not let me film just because of liability and how like much of a wishy-washy. They didn't know if they were taking me for a C-section or not, so I could not film the actual birth, which I really, really wanted to do, but that's okay. That is okay. Whew. So yeah, it was rough. It was very rough, and I'm just really thankful that I did not have to have a C-section, especially just because I worked so hard to make sure that I had a natural birth. I say natural, I got the epidural, but like a vaginal birth. I worked really hard to do that, and I really wanted to experience that, and I'm really thankful that it worked out the way that it did. Somebody asked, when did you notice your blood pressure getting high? So my blood pressure started getting high when I was in the hospital. So they gave me blood pressure medicine. Like, did they give it to me before I gave birth? They gave me blood pressure medicine at some point. I think it was after, because it was like really, really high, and then it just kept staying high after, just because there was so much going on. That blood pressure medicine, awful. Like, awful. Was it that made me? I don't know. They were pumping me with so many meds just because of how traumatic the actual birth was. My body was the struggle after. And first of all, those massages that they give you after, the pain is indescribable. That pain, oh my gosh. Again, screaming, like it was a lot. It was definitely a lot. Just thinking about it is like so crazy. To answer the questions of, do you believe staying active in the gym helped with labor? 1000% yes. Because pushing takes so much strength and it takes so much out of your deep core and your pelvic floor. I really was able to do it very well, which is why I feel like even though I wasn't fully dilated and given the circumstances, I still was able to push and get the baby out in a shorter amount of time, with no like internal damage. Like, I feel like if I didn't stay active, that I probably would have ended up getting a C-section because I wouldn't have had the strength to push the way that I had to push. Like, it wasn't regular pushes. I didn't get practice pushes. I had to go from 0 to 100. And if I was not active the way that I was, there is no way that my body could have handled that at all. So I 1000% give that to how active I was during pregnancy. And I'm really, really thankful for myself for seeing it through the whole 10 months and working out and doing what I could, walking, working out, literally any type of movement that I did every day. I'm just really thankful that I stuck to that because it definitely helped me. Anything within your control that you would do differently? No, I don't think so. I fully believe that everything happens exactly how it's supposed to, and I release my worry and release myself to that. So no, I don't think that there's anything that I would change. I went in with no expectations. Like, obviously you have in your mind, like I told you, like I wanted to have a vaginal birth, but I just wanted everything to go safe, and I wanted me to be safe, and I wanted my baby to be safe and healthy. So, yeah, I feel good about how everything was, and everything's been fine since. Can you talk about the recovery? I need to feed Maverick. The recovery was rough. Like, I'm 10 days postpartum now, and I feel like I'm just now starting to like feel normal physically, and especially in my private area, just because of how crazy everything was. So after the birth, when they took me to the mothers and baby suites, like on a different floor, I had to have a catheter because I was I forgot to tell you all this part. Oh my gosh. So I was clotting really, really bad. I had several blood clots. They were about to have to take me to the OR to get those removed. But so I had a catheter in. They had me on all these medications and stuff. And so that was so uncomfortable. That catheter just made moving around difficult, like trying to go. Oh, it was so bad. And then the blood pressure medicine. I have mom brain right now. Oh my gosh. I'm like all over the place. And I'm leaking. I need to go feed or pump or something. So with that catheter in, and I literally, TMI, was pooping myself, like laying in the bed. I had to like sit in a bucket underneath like literally I was laying in the bed and I had this bucket like underneath me. I was throwing up, I was pooping myself because of this medicine I was on, and then I had the catheter in, and then I couldn't really move around, and then it was not cute, it was not fun. Those couple days in the hospital were really difficult on my body after giving birth, and even when I got home I was still clotting really bad. They had to send me home with a blood pressure cuff to check my blood pressure every day. And my blood pressure is totally fine now. It wasn't enough that it was like preeclampsia or anything. But the blood pressure was definitely elevated. Whew. So yeah, I'm honestly just really thankful that physically I'm now starting to feel better. But yeah, down here, very uncomfortable. As I'm starting to heal, since I did tear, it was a 1st degree tear, like they only had to do like 1 stitch, but it burns when you try to use the bathroom. You can't really like push too much because it's just so uncomfortable, and the pressure, it literally feels like you're like about to bust down there. And then yeah, so the peri bottle, lifesaver. When using the bathroom, I just like use warm water. Today is like the first day that I haven't had to do that because it's starting to heal, but now that it's healing, it's like itchy, so I'm just like uncomfortable in that way, but there's not any pain anymore, which is really good. So it's taken me 10 days to feel somewhat normal, but the bleeding is still really heavy. Yeah, that bleeding is no joke afterwards. So the recovery was rough, but we're getting there, and I feel like if I give myself like another week, I will definitely be feeling a lot better physically. How do you feel emotionally and physically? I had 2 people ask me that. And thank you for asking how I feel. That's amazing. I do feel great. Emotionally, I feel great. Physically, I'm now starting to feel a lot better. Emotionally, I would say the only thing that I'm struggling with right now is like my co-parenting situation, but I really just don't want to get into that, and I appreciate you guys respecting that. I just don't want to answer any questions about my co-parenting situation currently, just because I want to keep myself as stress-free as possible for the sake of my milk supply, because stress can impact your milk supply, and I am exclusively breastfeeding. And somebody did ask me, okay, how's breastfeeding going? And it's going great. So at first I was really worried. When we went to the pediatrician for like his 2-day checkup, he had lost weight since the hospital. So I was on a mission. Like, I got a little obsessive, and I'm trying to wean off of my obsessiveness right now. But I got very obsessive with his feeding schedule and with getting him to latch very good. So I was using a nipple shield, and I got him to latch with the nipple shield, and then I was reading and it said that it's not good to use the nipple shield for a long time, so I completely just went cold turkey with it. And my aunt actually helped me with like a tip on how to get him to latch well on my breast, and ever since, it's been a dream. It hurts. My nipples are like raw and sore, but I honestly love breastfeeding so much because it's just such a connection with me and my baby, and it feels so good. I'm really thankful that I was able to produce milk. I was kind of worried because I got a breast augmentation in September of 2021, and I was afraid that that was going to affect my milk supply, but it hasn't at all. I've been able to keep my milk supply up by drinking Body Armors, drinking a lot of water, eating oatmeal every day. My mom made this oxtail soup that I've been eating. And yeah, just trying to like stay really, really hydrated and eating as good as I can, not eating anything too unhealthy. And I've had a really good luck with my milk supply. Like, I'll just leak all the time. So yeah, it's going well. I love it. Congratulations. How do you feel as a first-time mom? And then somebody also asked, is motherhood everything you've dreamed of? Yes, like I literally feel like I'm living in a dream. I feel like I'm living in a dream. Every day is just so perfect. I'm dreading having to go back to work. I see why people become stay-at-home moms, because if I had the ability to, I would 1000% do it. I absolutely love being a mother. I love sharing my baby with my family. I love how loved my baby is, and I love that he's like, he came from me. It's so crazy to think, because I never saw this for myself. I really never did. So the fact that like I'm here is just so crazy. Yeah, it makes me like really emotional to think about, because it's like, he literally is perfect. He literally is so perfect. And I don't know. It's so crazy how quickly your life can change, because like I said, I never saw this for myself, and now I don't know how I ever was living my life before him. Like, I don't know how. It's just crazy. Ooh. How much weight did you gain for each trimester? Happy everything went well. Thank you so much. So I started my pregnancy at 184, but my first couple weeks were extremely rough, and I was going through a lot emotionally, and so I actually ended up losing a lot of weight. So then at my first appointment, I was 177. I ended my pregnancy at 209. Kind of varied how much I gained like with each trimester. So I gained 32 pounds throughout the whole pregnancy. Towards the end, I didn't really gain as much. So I feel like the biggest jump was in like this like mid second to like the beginning of the third trimester is when like I really gained the most, which would make sense. But yeah, that's how much. When are you having Maverick's sister or brother? I need to mentally heal from this birth before I think about that. And I need to meet my God-sent husband before I think about any of that too, because I am abstinent. Is my baby crying? No, he's not. Okay. I am abstinent. I am refraining from sex until I get married. So yeah, I will have Maverick's sister or brother whenever I meet my husband. Did you have frequent headaches throughout your pregnancy? If I was not staying hydrated enough, yes. Yeah, other than that, no, I didn't really have any, like, my pregnancy was honestly easy. I say easy, pregnancy is hard, but like compared to what it could be and how difficult pregnancy can be, it was relatively easy. When are you gonna come back to the gym? Once I get cleared. So I did just start doing my 6-week postpartum program that I am making. I'm making it and adjusting it as I go. I'm doing it on myself, so I will have my before and after. And so I think I'm gonna start lifting and working out at the 6-week mark as long as my doctor clears me at my 6-week appointment. I need to close the door. Are you a single mom? If so, is it hard? Yes, I am, but I don't really like to put those together. I'm a single woman and I'm also a mother. I have a ton of help, so honestly, this is amazing. Like, living with my family right now, having my mom's help, having my dad's help, having my family drive from North Carolina to come help, like, everybody just is loving on my baby and really has come together to help me. I have like my friends offering to help and to keep him, and you know, if I ever need to do anything. And so it really takes a village, and I honestly love this so much better than being in like a one-sided situation where like I'm doing literally everything. So I love it. I mean, I just love being a mom. So nothing can really take this joy away from me just because I have my baby. Like, I have my baby and I get to experience him every single day and I get to see his milestones, and I just feel so happy about that. You know, I was worried and I was scared about not being with Maverick's dad. I was scared and I was worried throughout my pregnancy, and it was not easy, but now that he's here, nothing matters. Like, literally nothing matters because I have my baby and he's healthy and we're doing well. And yes, there's nights where like we don't sleep. There has been nights where we don't sleep, but like honestly, I just look at him and I'm like, I just want to know what's wrong so I can soothe him. And you know, I think that's just been the hardest thing. It's just seeing him cry and not knowing what to do about it. But yeah, I have a ton of help, which is why I'm able to sit here and film this video and I don't have a baby near me. My baby's downstairs with my mom right now. And so yeah, it's really, really nice. Are you planning on removing his extra little pinkies? Yes. So my baby has 2 little extra like pinkies on the side of his hands. And it's so funny because they have little fingernails on them. So I asked at the hospital said ask the pediatrician. Asked the pediatrician says we got to go to a plastic surgeon. So we're going to see the plastic surgeon at the end of March. So yeah, end of this month, we're going to see the plastic surgeon. Hopefully they'll just do it that day. Apparently they just kind of like tie them off and they just kind of pop off. But I don't know. The pediatrician said that they do it a lot like more aesthetic there, and so yeah, I don't know. So we'll go get that done. But yes, I am getting them removed. I hope they, this is so weird, but I really hope that they let me keep one because I have like a keepsake box and I would love to keep one of those, like preserve it. Is that weird? I hope that's not weird. Please don't, if that's weird, just ignore that I said that. But if you would do the same thing, right? How often did you experience sickness, nausea, vomiting, headaches, fatigue? Just in the beginning, and then towards the end, like the day that I went into labor, I felt so nauseous and spacey. I literally was sitting here doing my Bible study and I was just like zoned. Like I couldn't focus. It's so funny because I actually made a TikTok and I was like, I feel so weird today. And then I went into labor that night. But yeah, and then in the beginning I was nauseous. I never was sick to the point where I was throwing up. But yeah, that nausea, nope. Because I would look at certain foods and I would be like, ew, no. So yeah, there was like time periods where it would be worse than others. It's just so crazy because pregnancy is different for everybody and labor is different for everybody. So like, you honestly have no idea what to expect with any of it. You really have no idea. A lot of the questions are kind of like repeat. So I think I answered everybody's, and I really appreciate you guys. I appreciate everybody also who has like been reaching out to me, messaging me, checking on me, and just really being a part of this process with me. I appreciate you guys so, so, so much. You really make this so enjoyable for me. I love sharing my life with you. I love sharing this new life with you guys. This is so fun. I'm learning every single day. I feel like a completely new woman though. Like I just feel so reinvented and so like on cloud nine. And I know it's gonna be so hard sometimes. But you know, we're in this together. I'm gonna be still sharing with you guys everything as I learn it, and as Maverick continues to grow and continues to just be the most perfect baby ever. I'm really happy and I'm really thankful for everybody who has sent prayers my way, who has sent love my way. Like it means the world to me. I haven't been able to get back to everybody, but I see it, I feel it, and I love you guys. Y'all are the bomb. Thank you for asking me these questions. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being so supportive. Yeah, God bless you guys. I will be back on Sunday for my weekly vlog.